Hello, my name is Dr. Dory McCubbrey, and I'm the creator of Eating Disorder Intuitive Therapy, EDIT. And I'd like to share an overview of the EDIT Certified Training Program with you. First, you might be wondering, why become EDIT certified? Well, if you're already in the mental health field or a dietitian or nutritionist, or possibly you're a life coach, recovery coach, or some other kind of wellness professional, then there are several reasons that the EDIT Certified Training Program can be helpful for you. First, you're going to receive direct training to help you understand diagnosis and treatment of eating disorders, and you'll receive the EDIT training manual as part of your registration for webinars, retreats, and my customized training options. In addition, as part of your training, you're going to learn concrete clinical tools that you can use directly with your clients, often by printing and using the EDIT worksheets. You'll receive a complete set of these worksheets, and you don't have to use them in every session. They are really just an instructional tool, but many clients really like the outlines and the assignments that can really help them be engaged in the therapeutic or coaching process. And finally, the EDIT certified credential will give you some credibility, and you also receive a listing in the EDIT Certified Treatment Directory, which can help clients find you. And if you already have a website, links to your website can help enhance your search engine optimization. So a little bit more about me and why I ultimately created the EDIT Certified Training Program. Some of my credentials include my doctorate, which is in biomedical engineering, and this gives me some foundations in nutrition, exercise physiology, biochemistry, really the body side of eating and weight issues. I also have a master's degree in counseling. I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of Colorado, and I'm also a certified eating disorder specialist, a credential that I received through the International Association of Eating Disorder Professionals. I currently serve as a board member on this professional association, and I'm a volunteer facilitator at a local organization in Denver, the Eating Disorder Foundation. I also have other credentials in terms of being a speaker, an author, media appearances, and then finally I'm the owner and clinical director of a group practice that specializes in the treatment of eating disorders called Positive Pathways in Denver, Colorado. And my inspiration to create Eating Disorder Intuitive Therapy, or EDIT, really began from my own journey of recovery. The principles that I learned on my own journey, at first I thought were just for me. But as I returned to school to become a counselor, inspired to make a difference for others on their journey of recovery, what I learned is that the recovery skills and tools and techniques that I learned were something that were important for me to share with clients too. And finally, as I began training interns and other wellness professionals, I developed concrete training materials so that I could deliver what I had been teaching clients for the past 20 years in a very specific and quality-controlled manner. So Eating Disorder Intuitive Therapy, EDIT, is something that I've been training people in for about the past 10 years, and offering EDIT certified credential for the past 3 years. So what is EDIT? Well, one way to explain what EDIT is all about is that it's a comprehensive treatment approach for eating disorders on an outpatient basis. It involves the practice of 5 principles: love yourself, be true to yourself, express yourself, give to yourself, and believe in yourself. And EDIT has roots in some evidence-based practices such as cognitive behavioral therapy, This is really the gold standard for eating disorder treatment. Also, dialectical behavior therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy. Research is coming out now that's really showing how these other kinds of theories and techniques are very helpful for eating disorder treatment as well. EDIT has some strong foundations in transpersonal counseling psychology, which means that it goes beyond the person, beyond just the individual separate self as a body, and it taps into physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual realms. And Jungian psychology, voice dialogue, intuitive eating, mindfulness practices, these are some other things that I've incorporated into EDIT. And by practicing the 5 principles, clients are able to develop values clarification, a sense of self that is very holistic. They can improve body image. They address nutrition and fitness from an intuitive perspective. Clients develop healthy coping skills instead of using eating disorder behaviors. They're able to address core issues and develop routines of self-care that address all aspects of self. And finally, relapse prevention. So as you become EDIT certified, you learn this comprehensive treatment method and you obtain specific techniques, most often delivered through the EDIT worksheets, that can really help make a major difference in your client's journey of recovery. Another way to explore EDIT is this concept of a dialogue between the eating disorder mind and another voice, a voice of recovery that I call the intuitive therapist. At first, as a clinician, whether you're a psychologist, social worker, dietitian, coach, you are modeling the voice of intuition for your clients. Ultimately, they will begin to hear intuition within themselves. But initially, the ed-it dialogue is often something that sounds really familiar in terms of the eating disorder mind almost arguing or being defensive, because that eating disorder mind is so chronic and pervasive. But the intuitive therapist will really stay centered in the 5 principles of EDIT, continuing to speak with compassion. So for example, the eating disorder mind in the client might say something like, "Ugh, I look so fat. I've got to lose weight. If I can just control my weight, then my life will get better." I mean, how many of us have had clients that say that? Well, as an EDIT certified practitioner, you might say something related to the love yourself principle. To love yourself right now, today, no matter what you weigh. From this loving perspective, notice how your entire life improves. And the EDIT worksheets go into detail about how to implement this concept of self-love. And similarly, as you look at the blue text bubbles, the voice of the eating disorder continues to speak in different ways. And then the purple text bubbles are what the intuitive therapist might say to offer a different perspective. So it's through these thought ed-its and the dialogue that happens in session with clients that clients can begin to heal from within and experience a transformation from ed to it. Ultimately, EDIT is a release of what's called a false self, and then recovery of what's called the true self. So that eating disorder mind, it feels like it's the client's identity. However, these kinds of things that the false self is filled with, like feeling fat or general self-criticism or diets and obsessive weight loss focus, using food as a way of coping and changing mood, and self-sacrificing or being selfless. So these aspects of the false self are not who the client really is. The eating disorder, or ED, is not the client's true identity. And by practicing the 5 principles, the client can start to remember and reconnect with their true self. So recovery involves the development of a nurturing body image, a sense of self-compassion in thoughts and in language, being inner guided or intuitive, being aware of authentic feelings and needs, giving to oneself as a way of coping and enhancing self-care, and also some relapse prevention strategies. In the EDIT certified curriculum, whether you're taking a webinar, a retreat, or one of the customized training programs, the main learning objectives include the ability to identify using the DSM-5 diagnostic criteria, the diagnosis of anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder, as well as other types of eating disorders. In addition, the ability to discuss what's underneath eating disorders, what are the root causes from the perspective of transpersonal counseling psychology. So certainly genetics plays a role. There are other factors such as trauma that can cause eating disorder development. And what you'll learn in the EDIT certified training program is a new perspective that involves going beyond that separate self, the body alone, and considers physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual causes, and therefore treatment perspectives to heal eating disorder. Finally, you'll be able to apply cognitive behavioral interventions in key areas including body image, values clarification, intuitive eating, mindfulness practices, and much more. Regarding the DSM-5 diagnostic criteria, I do briefly want to mention that I cover this in detail. So anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorder are the primary eating disorders that most of us hear about and think about. And most of the time, that's what our clients will present with. However, there are also other types of eating disorders that I'm going to cover in the training program. And from the transpersonal counseling psychology perspective, we're going to explore holistic recovery. And this quote from my first book, Dr. Dorie's Don't Diet book, lasting freedom involves healing and reintegrating the 4 parts of the self: physical, intellectual, emotional, spiritual. You'll also learn about intuitive recovery. Intuition is a key part of this training program. And this quote from my second book, How Much Does Your Soul Weigh? Intuition is our inner wisdom, 6th sense, a hunch or gut feeling. Our intuition is the voice of our soul. And in learning the cognitive behavioral interventions, the way that I teach this is by walking you through the EDIT worksheets. So as you become EDIT certified, you will receive the full set of EDIT worksheets. And what I'm showing you here is the table of contents to just give an overview of the different kinds of worksheets that are available. So there are assessments in the very beginning. Then for the Love Yourself principle, there are many worksheets that address overall self-image as well as specifically body image. In the second EDIT principle, Be True to Yourself, this is where we'll explore the application of intuition to eating and exercise so that clients can make peace with food and find a way to also move their bodies in ways that are enjoyable and have meaning. And then the third EDIT principle, Express Yourself. This is where clients will learn to be more aware of their thoughts and feelings and needs. They'll develop specific coping skills as alternatives to eating disorder behaviors. And there are also worksheets that address core issues and healing at deeper levels. The fourth edit principle, Give to Yourself, explores the development of self-care routines and practices. Ultimately, these proactive practices replace eating disorder behaviors and work better than the eating disorder ever could. The fifth edit principle, Believe in Yourself, explores the different aspects of recovery and long-term success, including relapse prevention. And the final pages of the worksheet set include some resources for clients as well as for yourself as a clinician, a certified test that you will take that will document your learning experience so you can officially become EDIT certified. As part of the EDIT webinar and retreat and customized training programs, I typically go through the entire EDIT training manual and walk you through these different EDIT worksheets. And again, whether or not you use the worksheets in session on a regular basis, the idea here is that these are learning tools. And for many clinicians, they love using the worksheets and assigning them as homework for clients. And clients really find them to be helpful too, so that they can have those cognitive behavioral interventions and breakthroughs to help them live in recovery. So to summarize, in the EDIT principles, you will learn love yourself, be true to yourself, express yourself, give to yourself, believe in yourself. And these are things that you as a clinician will discover how to live in your own life, so that we as clinicians can literally walk the walk with our clients. And then ultimately, the idea is that you can be an effective guide on your client's journey of recovery. For more information about Eating Disorder Intuitive Therapy EDIT Certified Training Program options, please visit www.editcertified.com, editcertified.com. You may also feel free to contact me by phone or email. I look forward to being a guide for you as a clinician in becoming EDIT certified so you can make that difference for your clients.